No, I really don't.
Okay.
All right, so Kevin, are you ready for us to get started?
And lives with him.
Okay.
It's very warm.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Madam Clerk, would you please read the roll?
Supervisor Moore.
Present.
Councilwoman McNamara. Present. Councilman Iacilli.
Present.
Councilman Pell.
Present.
Councilman Scivone.
Present.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular town board meeting of April 9th, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the communications?
The following communications have been received in the office of the town clerk. We have received public notices from the Village of Sag Harbor, Zoning Board of Appeals applications for 48 Redwood Road and 56 Redwood Road in Sag Harbor. Village of West Hampton Dunes, public hearing notice. New York State Liquor Authority, 30-day advance notice to local municipalities, a new application for 6 West Montauk Highway in Hampton Bays. We have received emails, letters, and land use applications regarding the following: Battery Energy Storage Systems, BESS Moratorium and Task Force, Bel Air Cove Motel Property, 20 Shinnecock Road, Hampton Bays, change of zone application entitled Liberty Gardens, County Road 39, Southampton, Downtown Overlay District litigation, New York State DEC invite for public comment on the Hampton Bays Fire District Superfund site, Planning Board matter of Corwith Red Barn LLC and 140 Upper Seven Ponds Road, Westwood property, Hampton Bays, Zoning Board of Appeals applications for the following locations: 40 Ocean View Drive, Shinnecock Hills, Mineola Court, Hampton Bays, White Oak Lane, Southampton, Old Riverhead Road, Hampton Bays, and Lincoln Avenue in Hampton Bays. The following bid and request for proposals were opened on April 17th for bid for Rampasture Road water main improvements for the Hampton Bays Water District. Requirements, contract to furnish and install surfacing for the Highway Department. Bid Yacht Club Drive bulkhead replacement, Remsenburg, the trustees. And a bid for Town Hall electric vehicle charging stations for municipal works. And that concludes the communications for this meeting's agenda.
Thank you. I have some walk-on resolutions that I'll read as a group, and then we'll vote on whether we'll have them added to the agenda. First is Town Board Resolution ID number 46244 to waive fees for the renewal permit for Assembly of Christian Churches. Town Board Resolution ID number 46247, notice of public hearing to consider the adoption of the 2024 CPF pilot plan. Town Board Resolution number 46253 to authorize the supervisor to sign the necessary documents to advance the permitting process for shoreline stabilization at North Sea Road. Town Board Resolution ID number 46255, the warrant number 8. Town Board Resolution ID number 46258 to authorize the supervisor to execute and submit hazard mitigation grant program elevation sub-applications to New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for 314 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays. Town Board Resolution ID number 46271 to authorize the supervisor to execute a loan agreement with Nantucket Shipwreck and Life-Saving Museum.
Sunday, could I be added as a co-sponsor to that? Thank you.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46275 to award and authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Tower Point Capital LLC for the purpose of the design, construction, and management of a wireless communication structure. Town Board Resolution ID number 46276 to resolution authorizing access, easement, agreement, and indemnity as it relates to the dredging at North Sea Harbor. And Town Board Resolution ID number 46280 to authorize the supervisor to provide certain assurances and indemnify the County of Suffolk in furtherance of dredging activities at North Sea Harbor. So I move to add these all 9 resolutions to the
Second.
agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please read the first public hearing notice?
Public hearing number 1 on the acquisition of 109 Montauk Highway in the hamlet of West Hampton and amend the CPF management and stewardship plan to include the property.
Good evening, Madam Supervisor and Town Council members. It's nice to be here today. Jacqueline Fenlon, Director for Community Preservation. We are looking at the parcel today as described in the hearing notice as 109 Montauk Highway in West Hampton, which you'll see on the first aerial there, highlighted in yellow. So this is in the hamlet of West Hampton. It is 2.3 acres. We have a contract with Selkin DRS Properties LLC, and they have expressed interest in selling the property for $730,000. So this is a property that is not within the target area, although you can see it's very close to established wetlands, which are known as, I believe it's Middle Pond, which also connects to the south to the Greater Creeks and Moriches Bay. We are putting this and proposing this to be included in the CPF project plan as a wetlands target area. So the majority of the eastern side of the property is encumbered with wetlands. There are some homes in disrepair that are part of the contract to be demolished.
Jacqueline, just a moment.
Sure.
Can everybody hear, or do we need to, we should turn up the mic? Kevin, could you please turn up the audio a bit?
For the podium.
For the All set?
Can you hear better now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you guys hear her?
All right, well, let's see. Let's try it again.
Project more.
Yes.
So again, this is 109 Montauk Highway in the hamlet of West Hampton. So this is 2.3 acres. We are in contract with the Selkin DRS Properties LLC for in the amount of $730,000 to purchase the property. A requirement of the contract is that the existing owners take down and demolish the existing residence and accessory structures that are in disrepair. We are recommending that this be added to the community project plan under the wetlands target area due to the sensitive freshwater wetlands along the eastern side of the property. This also will eliminate, unfortunately, the driveway location, and now that Montauk Highway is more readily used, it'll also eliminate a traffic impact. There is evidence of, some car accidents historically in the area, so also will be alleviating, hopefully, that safety issue as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have any cards on this. Is there anybody in the audience that did not fill out a card that would like to address the board?
On this. Yeah.
Okay, and, excuse me?
That
And
was-
is there anybody on Zoom that would like to speak, Kevin?
Nobody on Zoom.
Okay. Any council people, any comments or questions for Jacqueline?
Nope.
Nope.
It's a good purchase.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, then,
That's pretty damn good.
then I move
I'd like to make a motion to close
Move-
the hearing.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the second public hearing notice?
Certainly. Public hearing number 2 on the acquisition of a historic preservation and conservation easement on property located at 29 Dock Road in the hamlet of Eastport, and amend the community preservation project plan and the CPF management stewardship plan to include said property.
Good evening again, Madam Supervisor and Town Council members. Jacqueline Fenlon with the Community Preservation Department. So this is a facade easement. So this is a different type of preservation and purchase that we're looking at here. So this is essentially, we're going to be restricting any future augmentation to the front of the facade and the historic facade easement. So we are in contract with Robert Moser and Teresa Moser, who we've been working with, and are the owners of approximately 1.3 acres located at 29 Dock Road in Eastport. So this was landmarked, which is a requirement of Chapter 140, so that we, so that we can facilitate preservation of this historic facade easement. So this was landmarked by the Landmarks and Historic Districts Board on December 13th, 2022. as a town historic landmark, and it's also known as the Witina, I hope I'm saying that right, Duck Farm Residence. But this is a property that the house was built in 1926. So this is characterized by, in the code for landmarking designation for 330-321B. So number one is one of the criterias that added this as a landmark was possesses special character of historic or aesthetic interest of value as part of the cultural, political, economic, or social history of the locality and region. So this is really tied to the local duck farming. So these were structures that were used in residences for the duck farming community, which dates back to the 1870s, and this was built in 1926, this home. It is also the type of style, which is the craftsman style bungalow. So that is another criteria that it met for embodying the distinguishing characteristics of architectural type, period, or style, or contains elements of designs, details, materials, or craftsmanship which represents significant innovation. So this craftsman style bungalow was built during a time where these were very popular architectural styles. So those are the two criteria. So we are in contract with them for the historic facade easement for $100,000 even.
Now, as Eastport was the duck growing capital of the world at one particular point, this home is critical to that historic heritage there. And as far as the view shed for the public, can they put up a
Yes.
fence? Can they put up a hedge and block it, or does it have to
They
remain?
cannot, actually, so that is one of the restrictions that I think is actually very important that we'll be looking at maintaining. They'll be allowed to have some amenities, but essentially it'll be low so that the character and the architecture can be seen from the public right of way. So that's one of the things that we restrict in the historic facade easements. It's very case specific, depending on the street frontage, where the building's located. But in this case, yes, we would be restricting it in the front, and we've negotiated that and have language about that in the
Good, so
easement.
the streetscape is going to remain the same?
Correct.
Good,
Yeah.
character of the community.
Yeah, and what's
Thank you.
nice is right now, it's very easily seen, so that'll be retained. But obviously, you know, some customary landscaping, flower garden, stuff like that will be permitted. So I think, right now, I think the restriction is 4 feet. Higher than 4 feet would be restricted, but that way you can still maintain like perennial gardens, flower gardens, low bushes, things of that nature.
And what happens to this historic preservation easement if, or when the house changes hands?
It remains with the property.
It runs with the property
runs
for
with the
the
land.
life of the property?
Correct.
And, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I don't have any cards on this public hearing, so Kevin, is there anybody on Zoom who would like to speak? No one on Zoom?
So, I did want to highlight the black and white picture that we have here that Julie Green, town historian, gave, which shows the parcel with that light blue sticky in the arrow. So this is actually the property right here.
Ah.
And then what year was this? 1940. So this was a 1940 aerial. And then just also to note, which is a fun fact, like the white that you see along the edges is actually the ducks. It is not
No.
snow.
Oh, really?
It is not sand. And so
Wow.
Julie mentioned that. So I give her credit to that. But those are all ducks that you see along the perimeter of the creek. Yeah.
Good for business, not so much for the water, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice
Thank you.
picture.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I make a motion to close it.
Make a motion to close?
Second.
Oh.
Excuse me, Janice?
Oh, right, we didn't hear from the public.
We did.
He did, he said nobody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she,
Oh, okay.
she
Yeah.
asked.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's in
Co-sponsored.
Councilwoman Acton. All right, Madam Clerk, would you please read the third public hearing notice?
Public hearing number 3 for the Water Quality Improvement Project requested by the Town of Southampton Municipal Works Department for the Town Hall Sanitary System Upgrade.
Good evening again.
Thank you. Welcome
Jackie
back.
Fenlon with Community Preservation.
You look like the other person.
I know. My twin was here earlier. So this is a good water quality project that's required for the facilities to be updated here at Town Hall. So right now, we have existing obsolete sanitary waste disposal systems at Town Hall, and this will be funding part of the installation for a new innovative and alternative sanitary system at this very location. So right now, they have submitted an application that has been reviewed by the Water Quality Advisory Board, and then by memo dated March 26, 2024, the CPF Water Quality Improvement Advisory Committee supported the project and supported the funding that was requested for $975,000 total to facilitate the project. There were additional matches that were already done, that I think it was like $1.1 million roughly for the total project. So this would be funding the bulk of it here at Town Hall to upgrade the sanitary system. I've been working with Municipal Works. Nicholas Jimenez is here with me tonight if you have any specific questions about the design. But we do have the plan also here. If the public would like to take a look at the design of the sanitary and innovative alternative system. But this will be replacing some, cesspools and sanitary structures that are not up to code. So it's very important that we get this done. So I'm going to work with Nick's department and contracts department so that we can fund this and get this out to bid.
We are within the 1 to 2 year travel time for Lake Agawam as well, right?
Correct.
So it's
Yeah.
imperative that we do this.
And obviously, we have a very high flow rate. I don't know the exact flow rate, but it's
And,
very high with a building of this nature.
I know that the village is looking at doing an STP, but I'm guessing that we can't wait until if and when the village.
So I did discuss that briefly with the consultant for Municipal Works, and unfortunately, that was one of the things. I was like, but this is designed so it will be ready to be hooked up, but essentially with that happening and being some years down the road, we don't want to wait, and we also have been essentially mandated by the health department to act on this. So this will be here, and then essentially when things are ready, we'll be able to be hooked up to the village sewer system.
Plus, this is the first step on fixing this building up, updating this whole building from the sewer up to the paint job, to the roof. Which-
Lots
From
of work
the
to be done,
foundation
right?
up, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, it's a good project for the village.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know if this is a Nick question, but is there a maximum gallons per day that an IA system like this can handle? It's like-
I know it's been designed
Right.
for the existing flow that we have now.
Capacity.
So we are proposing the largest, well, I shouldn't say the largest, but the largest single FujiClean system. And the actual gallons per day, it's the one thing I didn't write down, Jim.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Just curious from a, compared to like the Baby Best systems and Chroma Glass.
Jim, I'll get back to you, but.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it wasn't, it's not that.
1,028
Oh,
comes to
okay.
mind.
So it's not, yeah, okay.
But 1,028 gallons per day.
Okay.
And again, you would put two systems in if it exceeded the capacity of one.
Right.
Hey, Nick, one more thing. I just want to say thank you very much for working very hard on this
You're welcome.
project.
Appreciate that.
I know I've been down nagging you about this a few times.
Yes, and to your point, this is the first step. Once this project goes in, we can do the facade. We didn't want to have a facade contractor while we were digging holes in the parking lot.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
Yes.
Thank
Once
you,
again,
Nick.
thank you for you and your staff down there.
Thanks, Nick.
Carter.
All right, so no cards on this. And Kevin, is there anyone on Zoom with their hand up? Did you say no? Oh, okay, thanks. Any
Okay,
other
I'd like to make a
questions?
motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, would you please read the fourth public hearing notice?
Public hearing number 4, to consider repealing the existing Town Code, Chapter 23, Code of Ethics, and replace it in its entirety with a new Town Code, Chapter 23, Code of Ethics.
So it's been over 20 years since we last revised our ethics code, and we've had advice from our ethics counsel, Mr. Leventhal, he's recommended that the best time to update a code for ethics is when there's no controversy existing. And so since we have none at the moment, now's a good time to do it. So would you like to introduce this topic
Well,
for us,
thank you,
please?
thank you Supervisor Moore and members of the board for giving me this opportunity. And thank you also for your commitment to government ethics. It's been my privilege to be ethics counsel to this town for 17 years. And I think you will be pleased to hear that in all of that time, we've never had a serious ethics problem in this town. The Board of Ethics during that time has provided countless advisory opinions to officers and employees of the town inquiring about their ethics obligations, and have implemented an ethics program that really has achieved the two primary goals of the program. The first being to inspire public confidence in town government by ensuring not only the reality, but also the appearance of integrity in government. And the second stems from the fact, supported by both logic and experience, that the overwhelming majority of government officers and employees at every level of government are honest and truly intend to do the right thing, and will do the right thing if there is a clear and comprehensive set of rules that they understand. So that goal really is to avoid unintended ethics violations before they occur. And the experience over all those years have led me and members of the Board of Ethics to observe certain deficiencies in the current code, which, as you said, is more than 20 years old. First, for example, it's overloaded with definitions. In my opinion, definitions are a trap for the unwary. If a term that's used in a law does not have its plain English meaning, it should be defined in context. An example of this is that the term relatives is defined in the definitional section of the current code to include dependents. Well, if I am reading a provision that addresses what my obligations are with respect to relatives, there's no reason for me to understand that that includes dependents, and there is the risk that I am not oriented to review the entire document, and including the definitional section. There's also a definition of client and customers that has a dollar threshold. It's just not helpful drafting, and we're trying to be helpful with the code. As originally enacted, any violation of the Code of Ethics was a crime, was a misdemeanor. So my advice to the board through all those years is, if you suspect an ethics violation has occurred, do nothing. Refer it to the district attorney's office, and don't take any action that is likely to interfere with the prosecution or deprive an individual of their constitutional rights. So that interfered with the administration of the ethics program, and we corrected that one early on. There is a provision in the code that prohibits the employers of board members of the various town boards from appearing before the board. This unnecessarily discourages people from participating in government without really achieving the goal of the program, which can easily be achieved by requiring recusal from someone whose employer is appearing before the board. What we do instead prohibit is a town officer or employee from agreeing to receive or receiving compensation for any matter pending before their own board, department, or agency. So a board member whose employer is appearing before the board could not share in the profits of that particular engagement. As you said, a code of ethics should be reviewed periodically, and the proposed code that's before you has been adopted with slight local variations by the County of Westchester, the Town of Hempstead, the Town of Oyster Bay, the Town of Huntington, the Village of Sag Harbor, and the Village of Southampton. The sources for drafting this code were, first, Article 18 of the New York General Municipal Law, which is a law of statewide application. It applies in every municipality in the state with the exception of the City of New York, which gets a pass because it has the finest ethics program in the world. And it applies, of course, in the town of Southampton. So the first thing we did was incorporate all of the rules that are contained in that state law so that no one would be misled. Again, we're aiming for clarity. No one would be misled by thinking that when they look at the town code of ethics, they're seeing all the rules without realizing that there's also a state law that they must comply with. We wanted to have one-stop shopping, and we've achieved that with this code. We looked at the state comptroller's model code, and of course, publications by the New York State Bar Association, municipal organizations, law review articles, and other sources. This code is structured in a way that is more user-friendly. It's organized into 3 primary sections. The first is a code of conduct that's clear and comprehensive. The second is reasonable disclosure requirements. And the third is effective administrative provisions, provisions that deal with training, investigations, imposition of penalties, and so forth. So if the board adopts this code, that will be the first step in further developing a robust ethics program for the town. Other steps will include creating a plain language guide to government ethics and publishing it in a booklet with pertinent portions of the code. This is the one from the town of Huntington. Each of the municipalities that I represent has done that. It will be very important upon adoption of a new code of ethics to roll out an ethics training program so that those who must comply with the code can be familiarized with it. And the town's website, I would suggest, should have a link to a page that the Board of Ethics materials can be posted on. And those are the ways that we get the message out and help the honest officers and employees of the town comply with their ethics obligations. Now, I know that time is precious, so I'll just quickly run through the section headings and briefly say a word or two where appropriate. The first rule contained in the Code of Ethics is the rule against using your town position for personal or private gain. And it identifies certain people, relatives, members of the household, and entities, businesses, employers, and businesses that you own, for whom you may not use your official powers or duties to confer a benefit upon. The next section is recusal. It says explicitly that in such a matter, you must recuse yourself, meaning have nothing to do with it whatsoever, not only refrain from taking official action, but also refrain from influencing the outcome. There are very limited situations specified in which recusal is not required, either consistent with decisions rendered by courts in various cases, or because requiring recusal in those circumstances would frustrate rather than advance the town's interest. There is a section that talks about those contracts in which an officer or employee may not have an interest. And really that is a provision that is at the heart of the state law. It has 3 elements to it: a town contract, a benefit flowing to an officer or employee of the town, and that interested officer or employee having the power or duty, individually or as a member of a board, to approve the contract, approve payments under the contract, audit bills rendered under the contract, or hire or fire anyone who has the power or duty to do any of those things. There's a rule in indicating when an investment or outside employment would conflict with an officer's or employee's official duties. There are restrictions on future employment activities, soliciting employment from someone with a matter pending before you or for 30 days thereafter. There is a prohibition against appearing before your former town board or agency on behalf of a private employer for 1 year after leaving town government, and a permanent prohibition against handling a matter on behalf of a private client or customer if you handle that same matter in a material way while you're employed by the town. Unauthorized use of town resources, of course, compensated town time, town materials, other town computers and IT system for personal unauthorized non-town purposes is prohibited. Direct supervision of a relative, nepotism is prohibited. A town officer or employee would be prohibited from making personnel decisions, hiring or firing, and other such decisions regarding a relative. Coercive political solicitations by a superior to a subordinate are prohibited. Unauthorized disclosure or personal use of confidential town information. Gifts, tips, and other benefits are regulated, and the inducement of others to violate the code is a code violation under this section. And those are the topics covered, and I think I would urge that it would be a significant improvement over the current town code of ethics if this proposal were adopted. Be glad to answer any questions.
And we did go through this in detail with you at a work session also.
Yes, this is my second chance to bore you to death.
Thank you.
You're the
Well, we
recognized
don't-
expert in this field, Steve. We
Yes.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We do. We don't have any cards for this public hearing, but,
I do have a question.
okay.
So what department would you recommend, when this is adopted, to help with the training and understanding of the code?
In other municipalities, the coordination of the training programs is usually done by HR.
Okay,
But the training program itself is generally presented by me.
got it. Good to know. Thank you.
Sure.
Right.
Thank you. Thank
Kevin,
you.
is there anyone on Zoom with a hand up? Okay, well, thank you for making it more straightforward and easier to navigate. We appreciate that.
Thank you for your work on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve.
And move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I just wanted to, before we move on, I just wanted to thank Deputy Town Attorney Kathleen Murray for all
Yes.
her
Yeah.
work with
Yes.
this as well.
Thank you,
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thanks, Kathleen.
I didn't
Thank
see
you,
her
Kathleen.
there.
They're a good team together.
All right, Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice for public hearing number 5?
Public hearing number 5, to amend Chapter 312-7 to authorize 2 additional stop signs at Mill Road and South Country Road, creating an all-way stop.
Good evening Supervisor Moore, members of the town board. This is brought forward at the recommendation of our highway superintendent, who is actually here tonight, so I'll be brief. You're empowered to do this under Town Law 130 and State BTL 1660. The highway superintendent will address the specifics of this project.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Good evening, Supervisor, Town Board. So this stop sign, these 2 stop signs came about after a meeting with the Remsenburg School and some Civic Association leaders. Felt that there was a safety issue at the corner of Old Mill, where the school is, and South Country Road. We had our in-house engineers do a traffic study. Most of you are very familiar with the street. I'll give you a little sign there. And it's just a simple solution to try to protect bicyclists and students walking to the school. South Country Road has become quite traveled as people make their way over to the post office every morning during school hours. Anybody have any questions?
Just reading the report, it said there was a bend in the road near where this is.
There's a bend in the road that is a blind corner, and we also had to send a notice for someone that had their landscaping blocking the view, which is always pleasant.
Myself and Michael was at the same meeting you were, and they were very concerned about that. About this having the new stop signs. thank you for
There
stepping up and
were
doing the
four
driveway.
major issues that were brought up at that meeting, all safety-related. I think in the next 2 weeks, one of the issues was sidewalks, which will be installed from the school to Montauk Highway. We installed 2 new speed signs within the first week of the meeting, and we're still working on crosswalks and sidewalks over by the post office. But this will be a big help.
They mentioned that majority of the students walk to school and not taking the bus.
The makeup of the school has changed, like most of the schools in the town of Southampton, so they do have a lot more children walking to school.
Yeah.
So it's important.
And like the highway superintendent said, a lot of people don't realize that the town right-of-way extends many times 5, 10, 15 feet into where they think is their property line, with a curb line at the end of the road. And so people are sometimes surprised when you
It's
say we have to
always,
remove the landscaping.
whenever I speak and people are interested in sidewalks, I explain to them there is pushback as soon as we send notices to their neighbors that they may have fences, trees, statues, et cetera, in the town right away.
Right.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for so promptly addressing all those issues for that part of our community.
And your staff too.
Yeah. Are there any, I don't have any card for anyone from the audience, but Kevin, is there anyone on Zoom with a hand up? No, okay. Anybody have any other questions about this?
I would just like to be listed as a co-sponsor,
Myself too.
your sponsor.
On the resolution.
Yeah, correct.
I'll make a motion to close it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and last, Madam Clerk, would you please read the public hearing notice for the 6th public hearing?
Public hearing number 6, to amend Chapter 312-12 to authorize 2 additional stop signs at Head of Pond Road and Lower Seven Ponds Road.
And good evening. Again, this public hearing is also brought at the request of our highway superintendent. Again, you're empowered to make changes to traffic controls via Town Law Section 130 and State VTL 1660. There's an underlying study by L.K. McLean.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sean.
Thank you again for your time. I just want to say that in the, I don't know, almost 2.5 years of the new administration at the Highway Department, we've taken great pains to try to improve the traffic flow. On this one in particular, I met with members of the Watermill Civic Association and with Senator Palumbo. They're interested in many traffic circles as possible to try to keep the traffic moving. One of the things we looked at here was that it was too small. We'd end up having to take property from these neighbors to do a traffic circle. So we came up with this plan where if you ever are on Lower Seven Ponds and you come out to Head of Pond, it's a game of chicken trying to come out because nobody is stopping as they go north and south. So we're gonna add a right turn lane and a stop sign on both sides. So the flow going this way will continue without stopping, and the cars coming out of Lower Seven Ponds will know that everyone's turning because they're in the turning lane instead of deciding if they're gonna turn or not, and this will keep this flowing even faster. This stop sign will slow down because we have a tremendous, there were a handful of accidents here, but the speed that comes up on this side, this will slow it down. So I recommend this. It's the best we can do without doing a traffic circle and taking property from all these neighbors. And again, this was a situation where we had to send letters because people were in the right of way. Tommy John?
Yeah, you probably need to be at the microphone. We can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, and everybody in the room can, but when we record it, and that makes sense. So you're going to take a little bit of the corner there and add another on the other side, yeah.
We're actually just
Northeast.
adjusting, the old line will be moved, we're gonna be adjusting over within the roadway, and we'll have a dedicated right turn lane, so you could head west and not have to stop, it'll keep the traffic moving. Very rarely, if you're very familiar with the road, I know, very rarely do you have anybody continuing south, but it's always that guess, are they going south or are they going west?
And people
So they're
don't
good.
use their signals.
Yep, nobody
It's difficult.
signals. I actually signaled that I'm
Some
not
people.
going.
When I was gonna say that, when I go south,
Yeah, I
I
signal
actually
out.
put my left turn signal
Yeah.
on and I go over the yellow line
Yeah,
so that
'cause
people know you're not
It is,
turning.
it's a game of chicken here, and we don't want to see it. So the continuous right turn lane will help the flow going west, And the 1 or 2 cars that come will definitely have to stop, so it'll keep lower 7 ponds coming out.
I'm happy to hear that you sent letters out, but we have a Watermill CAC, but not a Watermill Civic. There's a Bridgehampton Civic, is there?
It
what
was Mr. Abramson and Mr.
Okay, they're members of the CAC.
The
And I know
insurance
Civic-
company.
Marin.
Marin, excuse me. So I met with them at the church. We went over a whole series of traffic circles, Main Street, Watermill, and so on. We are still considering a traffic circle at lower and upper 7 ponds. There's enough room there to do it, and that also will help as we continue going all the way back. Here I am at 39, way up here.
There's a
So-
drainage issue up there, too.
Yep,
I think you also met with some neighbors down there too one day,
we did.
and thank you for running out there, taking your time to meet the neighbors who were upset about it.
Yep.
And Charlie, when did this work start? When did you start engaging on this particular project?
So, well, I met with the, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago.
Okay.
But we had to have a traffic study at both locations. They did both at the same time. They came out and did both. And we got the results and brought it to the board.
And I want to also thank you for serving on the Traffic Mitigation and Safety Task Force. You're our co-chair. And I imagine that some other work will also come from those meetings.
Absolutely.
Which you will be spearheading. So thank you for that.
You got it.
I'm just happy that there's a dedicated right turn lane that doesn't have to stop, because that was my biggest concern, was
No.
then backing up all the way.
It's rare that somebody goes
Yeah.
south, so
So you
they'll
only
have
have
to
to stop when you're going south.
Right. And then, like I said, it's not the game of chicken coming at it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
I do have one card from Rachel Verno.
Our CAC chair.
Guess I'll have to tell Steve and Tim. News to me. So I guess my comments will be a little off because, but I will just go for it. I'm assuming it was just an oversight that no one told the CAC about this project, so I'm speaking tonight as a resident and not on behalf of the CAC. I'll add that I didn't know that Tim and Steve Abramson were representing a Watermill Civic. So at our next CAC, we'll talk about that.
Wait, who's the liaison to the Watermill CAC? Oh, you are?
Anyway,
So they didn't know about it? but he spoke to
I will say
members?
that this is an intersection that our CAC has talked about in the past. Specifically the sight lines at the end of Lower 7. In the past, we were always told that there wasn't any data regarding traffic accidents that would warrant 2 stop signs. That was several years ago. Maybe there's new data that indicates this is a dangerous intersection. Maybe the stop signs, which it sounds like, are for traffic flow moving along the back roads. Whatever the reason, I only heard about the project because some residents had contacted me concerned about why there were stop signs going to be planned in front of their houses. And the only way the residents had found out about the stop signs was because they asked the workers outside of their house what was going on. I'm glad they were able to contact Councilman Pell. I'm glad they were then able to talk to Charlie, and Charlie went on site to explain to them the details. I think that was important, and it was very beneficial. I hope going forward, the CAC has an opportunity to hear about these type of projects before they make their way on a town board agenda for a town public hearing, as they have an impact on the residents and the entire community. I also hope that, it sounds like this board is going to go forward with this project. You keep in mind that these new traffic patterns require a lot of signage that doesn't always feel compatible with residential rural roads. The new signage at the intersection of Old Mill Road and Hedda Pond is an example that something feels really excessive for the area. I'd also like to point out that there are currently a lot of projects going on in Watermill that have the potential to forever change the integrity of our community. I'm sure you're all aware of the Southampton Fire District Commissioner's project for a 4,500 square foot firehouse complete with 40 parking spaces planned for the corner of Hedda Pond and Upper 7 Ponds Road. It's a project that we only learned about because it made its way onto a planning board work session agenda. The fire district commissioners never reached out to the CAC, nor to the public about the project. This is a project that most of the area residents don't support, and it's a project that was not, and I stress was not, initiated by the Southampton Village Fire Department. Despite the general lack of support and the obvious limitations of this location for an emergency services facility, the Fire District Commissioners are continuing to move forward. They've conducted an engineer's report for the bridge on Head of Pond Road, and they're also conducting a traffic study over the summer for the entire area. While I know that the Fire District Commissioners are their own entity with complete autonomy, I have to assume that the town board would want to have input and oversight regarding any recommendations from those reports. So these are all local town roads, and I think it's important that the board has all the information about the totality of what is being planned and an understanding of the full impact these different projects have on the Watermill community. I'm hoping there is a way all of this can be coordinated with the town board, and there can be an ongoing mechanism by which the CAC and the community are kept informed. Thank you, guys.
Rachel,
Thank you.
you're a little off topic on what you're talking about with the firehouses and the stop sign, but you can contact me. I will go over. I was a fire commission for 5 years.
Well,
in
I
the same
only
district.
bring it up
No,
because there's different
I
studies.
let you talk. You let me talk.
Sure.
Okay. I think some of the stuff you said is unfounded because I know a lot of the neighbors down there who are for it. Okay, when you have a fire or an ambulance, okay, it's all volunteer. You want to be there. If your house is on fire, you want them to be there in a minute, not 15, 20 minutes fighting traffic because a truck is in the wrong place. So you should really reconsider what you're saying about it.
And in all due respect, Bill,
Yes.
the Southampton Village Fire Department did not initiate this project, and for the people that I've spoken to on the fire department, they don't support it. That's not my topic tonight, and I'm happy to talk about the firehouse. I bring it up because the fire district commissioners, using taxpayer dollars, are funding engineer reports for the bridge, which has weight limits that currently can't support fire trucks. And they also will be conducting at the, because the planning board has asked them to, a traffic study that's conducted over the summer to see what's going on in that area. The reason I bring it up is because I think it would be important that the town and the highway superintendent understands what those traffic reports, what the recommendations are, and that it's all coordinated, and that the community knows what those recommendations are before someone says we're going to rebuild a bridge or we're going to widen a road to accommodate fire trucks that are going to be in a residential road. So I don't think it's off the topic, and that's why I brought it up.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, perhaps you two can have a private conversation
Yes, we will.
later. Okay.
We'll have
So,
the highway department there with us.
Kevin, is there anybody on Zoom with their hand up? Okay.
So Charlie, are you willing to go to the Watermill CAC and present this, what you presented here tonight, next month?
I think we're past that. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's a
that's not a
safety
no,
issue,
it's
and I don't
to-
want to hold it up.
It's to present it.
I was going to say, I'm not asking to hold
Mhm.
the public hearing.
And neither am I.
I just want everybody to, maybe in the future,
I apologize that you didn't know
No,
about this.
and I apologize that people on our CAC didn't let me know. I know there's other projects that are going to be planned at different intersections. Charlie mentioned some of them. So I think that would be great to be able to do that in the CAC.
I'm available, sure.
Perfect, thanks.
Great.
Okay,
Make a
did
motion
we,
to close it?
yeah.
Wait, I have one more question. Charles, can you come up for a second?
Charles.
My mother's mad at me.
Yes. Well, someone sent me a text that I should call you Charles.
Oh, very good.
His mother, maybe?
No, it's Mark. Do you have dates when you think that this would be started and dates when you think it might be finished?
I don't. And hopefully, when the resolutions tonight get passed, we'll have all our vendors in place and our in-house engineer in place. This is not a big project. This project would take maybe a
Restriping?
day or two.
Restriping and putting out the sign.
Restriping and to just do
Clean it
some,
up.
so this project right here is in 2 days.
Okay, and the
And
public will
clearly,
know.
South Country is just putting the
Yeah.
signs up,
Yeah.
not a problem.
No, and the public will know ahead of time for this 2 days.
Yep,
You'll have to put up some change of traffic pattern
Yeah.
signs for a while, right? But then those will come down?
yeah, well,
Yeah.
this will not inconvenience.
No.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, I want to say to your staff, to your deputy, Highway, thank you. And
I'm very
all
proud
the-
of them. They're
and
doing a
all
great
the
job.
crew. And I actually was at the gas station with one of them getting gas, and I was having coffee, and I had coffee, and he was very proud of all the work he does with the town.
They're
in
doing a
his-
good
in his
job.
area. And the guy
Thank you.
spoke very highly of everything.
All right, very good. So you moved.
I'll make a motion to close it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that brings us to the public portion.
Supervisor, could we chip up first as a trustee?
Of course, yes, that brings us to the public comment portion, and we're gonna take Chip Marin, our town trustee. Please come up.
Hello, I'm Chip Marin. I'm representing the trustees tonight. Good evening, Supervisor and Town Board. I just really, truly wanted to speak on behalf of the farmers, the fishermen, and the people with their sump pumps running for the past 3 weeks on Mecox Bay for the support of the Town Board. We cut it close, but we got it done. So I'm very happy to see that trustees and the Town Board can work together on such a imperative issue.
Thank you for that, Chip. Did you
yeah.
get support from the county by any chance?
No, we did not, unfortunately. But yeah,
county have jurisdiction?
so we did learn a lot from this last opening.
Did
The Fine Feathered Friends are
I'm
still
sorry,
in their
I-
happy nest. They were not disturbed. We have very good video footage of the plovers right next to the machine as we were digging. The cut was a long cut. I took the extra day because I wanted to make sure this one was going to make it. There was a flat that was actually, for most intents and purposes, going to wipe out the nesting area if I did not punch through the flat. So that was part of the sticking point, but I wanted to make sure that this was going to be drained, and hopefully we don't have to open it until after the nesting season. So now I'm just going to work quickly east to west in the town. Just a few issues, just update where we're at, so we all can be on the same page. If you guys have ideas and stuff, we can obviously, correspond later. I've been working with Kristen Duos on a few of the issues. One of them was the drumming circle at Sag Main. They want to make sure that it's on the east end of the park and not the west end of the park because of the piping plovers. So we took care of that. The sea poos at Sag is actually very, very good this year. The long dredge has been very successful, and it's maintained itself, and it's opening and closing itself on its own, which is really nice during nesting season. The sea poos at Mecox, like I said, it's a very good cut. The shellfish population in Mecox has rebounded to incredible levels. I'm gonna have to do some detailed look at last year's opening schedule and a lot of the data that's been brought before SOMAS. It's as good as I've seen it in 20 years, both the steamer population and the oyster population. And there's a new set of oysters that took somewhere along the line last summer. So, and they grew finally. So something was right. Usually oysters and steamers in there, they can go for years without growing. So something, whether it's the maintenance dredge, we're doing some dredging with the oysters. We take like a one month time to open it up for dredging of oysters, which is rolling the bottom and promoting a set. So that's been very, beneficial, I think, for the baymen and also the water quality of that bay. Obviously, Shinnecock is at historic levels of harvest. There seems to be another set behind it for this season that is probably better than the last. So things are looking up.
You're talking, when you say harvest,
It's clam harvest. I'm going to say hard clam harvest. The fin fisheries are not as healthy as they used to be, but that's a whole other topic of conversation. The Army Corps dredge project for the Great South Bay is pretty much a go. We just have a few spoil sites on the west end of town. I did want to double back. The Alewife ladder was successful. The historic levels this year are quite low, judging by Connecticut. but it seems like there's 2 runs. There was an early run, and then last night I heard another run. So, but the fish ladder was quite successful, which is nice, because that was a lot of work to get through. So I did Shinnecock. Tommy John, myself, and the Watermill CAC had an excellent discussion with Solitude Lake Management. Gonna follow through with them drafting their proposal. Forward it to Tommy John and Bill Pell and the Watermill CAC. Once Ed and I look it over, and we can take it from there. Like I said, it's going to be very systematic. A 2-year plan, exactly what they plan on doing.
This is for Mill Pond.
This is for Mill Pond, Lake Nowodona, yep. And, okay, second to last would be, we have a tremendous resource of oysters that are on the north side of Mecox right now, we were not allowed to harvest because they're enclosed waters. And I've spoken to a lot of the baymen of the town of what do we want to do with that resource. This year, we're going to roll we're going to have an extended harvest and relay some of the oysters to the south side of the bay. Not necessarily the south side of the bay needs more oysters, but we want to try and catch a set. So as soon as you roll the bottom over, there's a really good shot we might get another set. Everybody said.
Excuse me, you should really say why it's so healthy to roll the bottom, cultivate the bottom with oysters. A lot of people won't understand that.
Okay. We can go in detail. I can
Yeah,
talk this
just-
stuff
Oysters
all night
don't-
if you really want to. I'm
Oysters
just trying to
don't-
buzz
oysters-
through this because the grass.
But people don't understand
But
that.
basically, we're trying to break up the shell, and then if we have a clean bed of shell, like get the sediment off the shell, there's a really good propensity that we're going to be able to get a new set of oysters on that fresh shell. And you're also breaking up the clutches all the baymen believe that Quantic is the next one. We brought 2 bays back from the dead. We brought Shinnecock back from the dead, and we brought Mecox back to the dead. And we have a tremendous resource of oysters. And if I have you must understand with oysters, the biggest mistake with a lot of these projects is they're hermaphrodites. So oysters are only male for the first year of their life, and then they turn to female. So the biggest problem with these projects is that you're not introducing males and females at the same time. We would like to do a relay, and not like a little relay, something in the realm of around 1 million oysters, from Mecox to Quantuck. So my take on it so far is we're going to tell Chris Gobler so he can come up with the idea and chase down the funds. And as trustees, we'd like to put the product as the match to other future funding. Quantuck Bay is close. I talked to a lot of baymen up there. They said it's really close to making the turn to the good.
Wow.
It's been really bad 20 years ago. There's guys that fish up there quite a bit, and they're like, if we could knock that brown tide out in the beginning, that could be brought back. So that's on our radar, and we're going to do the best we can to work with, the town, the feds, and other entities, CAC, hopefully, water quality issue, and make that happen, because we have a resource that's sitting there. We can't harvest it. It's healthy for the beds to roll the north side over. So we're going to do a little preliminary this year and try and catch a set, so we have a few bulls with the heifers, and then make it happen for Quantuck. The last, not as much fun, trustee roads. We don't have to drag this on. Basically, these roads were cattle roads, livestock roads. You brought salt height back to the barn, you brought the cattle to the deep water ports. Right now, they have a spattering of blacktop on them. There's been a lot more development since it was cattle roads. The last cattle drive from Springs was in like the 50s. So,
Well, Chip, it seems to me that it would be helpful if you were to, if we were to put you on a work session agenda, so you could more
It'd be
fully
fine.
describe the trustees' issues
yeah, but
and
I
give us
can't.
an update.
But I think it is good for a dialogue.
Yeah, we would have a dialogue at a work
but this
session.
is the dialogue, and this is kind of
Well,
what
it's not
we
really,
progressed to.
because we're not engaging you right now because we have time limits. So why don't we
Yeah.
put every Thursday at 10, we have work sessions, and you're welcome
Yeah.
to come to them to
We
give
can
us
ask
updates.
questions now, and we can
No, we
here.
can't.
Almost 10 minutes now.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets 3 minutes.
I
Where
just,
is
I,
Michael?
I want to thank you for coming and
Yes.
actually sharing some
Yeah.
positive news.
Because this is probably going to be good till the summer, through the summer season, because we're all going to be crazy. But this is what we're working towards. So that's what we've got, and I won't be back for more unless it's an executive session concerning Mecox. Quite frankly.
No, but I would love, but like to back on what the supervisor said, I would love for you to come to a
Work
work
session.
session
Yeah.
Yeah,
and have
if that
a
works,
more
yeah.
in-depth topic on all of these
That's
things.
fine. Whatever's
That way we
clever.
can
I would
engage
love
with
a
you.
dialogue because I think it's very well needed between the trustees and the town board.
Okay, well, we'll
Sure.
contact your
Yeah.
office to set up a Thursday,
Yeah.
very soon. Michael, did you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Chip, it's great news to hear about the relay objective. I think that that's really awesome. And have you considered reaching out to the county?
Like I said, starts with Chris Goldberg on most
Yeah.
of these issues. Yeah.
I'm sure Legislator Welker would probably be
I'm
willing
sure she
to
would,
team
yeah.
up with you on that. That sounds really great. And I do also welcome the idea of you coming by our work session and have periodic updates from the trustees.
Yeah.
So we
I think
can have
it's
that.
good
Have that.
dialogue, and that
Yeah.
I don't know how exactly you
Sure.
want it. I did call Bill to ask the best, but he said 6 o'clock, so I could work today. But yeah, let's make this a common theme. I think it's the way the town should work. Quite frankly.
We all have to work
Yeah.
together.
All right.
And
Thank you very much.
congratulations
Thank
on
you.
getting that Mecox cut done.
Yes.
I
You did a good
congratulate
job.
you
Really
because
good work.
yeah, that was close, and I don't want it to be that close.
And just so
again.
everybody knows, like, that was not just the town board and the trustees. That included Congressman Lota, that included Fish and Wild. I mean, that was a lot of people that got
Yeah.
together to get that done.
You were on the phone
And it
with
came
a lot of
literally,
people.
I did, I was on the phone with the congressman and in and out of
I've been sure
meetings.
Scott's
and-
minutes for 3 days prior to that were
But the congressman was in there till,
yeah.
the last minute,
But
and
it
they
was the
finally
final
got us that
hour. We
permit.
can't because that was very close to having severe flooding.
Yeah.
And I know Scott
it was
was
the DEC,
working
right?
round the clock on that too.
We
to
needed
get
permission
it
from
done.
New York State DEC
What's that? We had
in the
Yeah,
end?
we had, yeah, I was,
well, they didn't want to give us anything. The Army Corps is Trump, and then as soon as the Army Corps said go, then it was the DEC gave us the green light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a weather window. There's so many dynamics with Mecox. We need to streamline this.
Yeah, I mean, it was the
At higher
DEC,
levels.
the Army Corps, and
Yeah.
Fish and Wildlife. They were all involved,
yeah,
so.
I was communicating with the regional attorney, Craig, who's always been very helpful, so.
It's
I
a
thank him
great
for that, too.
teamwork to
Yeah,
get it done
It took
without
all of
harming
us,
any
honestly,
clover.
but hopefully we can smooth this out so we don't have to go to the 10th hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chip.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
That
Chip.
would be good to get
Thanks, Chip, for
something
coming
in
in.
place, so we don't have to have an emergency every time.
Yeah. It always seems that way.
Okay, next
Yeah,
up is Jamie Osborne.
Clover issue.
Good evening. I'm Jamie Osborne. I reside at 5 Jennifer's Path in Quiog. And I'd like to go on record tonight to oppose the appointment of Brian Tiemann to the CPF Advisory Board based on the following information. As Southampton Town residents, we look to you, the board, to do what's right in protecting our land, our natural resources, all of the animals within the boundaries, and to work in our community's best interest. I understand appointing the right people to the advisory board is no easy task. But each appointment comes with certain decision-making qualifications. So it's important that you choose the right people for the board. The Community Preservation Advisory Board helps our community preserve open space and historical sites. As a West Hampton Beach Village trustee, Brian Tiemann has made a judgment decision to trade green for green, and that can't happen. I believe his thought to lease the Quiog property to a commercial solar farm was a poor decision. This 13-acre forestry property is situated between a residential development and the Quogue Wildlife Refuge. The construction of a commercial solar farm will plow down all the acres to a clean slate, destroying and devastating the natural ecosystem and displace the animals that survive within it, some that are endangered. We get hurricanes, and if the hurricanes damage the solar panels or the battery storage, toxic metals such as lead and cadmium could leak into the ground, into our water levels and affect Aspetuck and Quatuck Creek watersheds, causing harm to human and environmental health. This is not the right location for the solar. With that said, I don't feel Brian Tieman's decision making aligns with the advisory board's objectives to promote long-term benefits to our surrounding communities. And if appointed, I don't believe Brian Tieman will advise the board in a community's best interest. Thank you.
Excuse me, you want to
Yes.
hand that in?
Excuse me?
If you want, you can hand that in.
I can if you'd like.
Yeah.
Doesn't have my name on it, though.
I can put it on there for you.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of cards from people who want to make similar comments, so I'm just going to say, you know, one statement that I've known Brian for a lot of years, and I know he cares about people, and I know he's an advocate for the environment. And I'm not going to take a position at this point regarding the solar project. You know, that's up to the planning board whether they're going to recommend a zone change and what parameters, if any, they'd put on the project if it's approved. But I will say that I've read some posts and emails, and a lot of the information is inaccurate. For example, it's a half a mile away from the Quogue Wildlife Refuge. It doesn't abut. It abuts the railroad tracks and the Gabreski Airport runway. And the other thing that's being said is that, you know, of the 13 acres, about 2/3 of it is already cleared. It's not vegetated at all. It's, you know, consists of piles of construction debris and, you know, it was used by our highway department. So, you know, there's clearly a lot of trees around the perimeter, but, so I just want, you know, I would like people to keep it in mind to, you know, to do the research before, you know, rather than maybe accepting what is being said or heard in general, because I don't think some of those facts are accurate. Some of those things that are being said are accurate. I just wanted to say that. All right, so the next person who's going to
Supervisor,
speak
just
is...
one quick thing. That was the Village of West Hampton Beach Highway Department.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Did I? Oh,
Yes.
I'm still doing ours. Beverly
never do that.
Perkowski. Oh, Beverly.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to speak. Some of you here are probably saying, Tommy John, I met him outside a while ago. I live right next door to what is going to be a new church, which we found out this afternoon. It used to be Wildwood Bowling Alley. The church apparently is not going to open for at least a year or more. You know the problem we've had with the parking situation. It's a danger, especially for my husband and I. We're right next door. If we try and pull out of our driveway, forget it. It's chaos. We were told that you are going to allow them to park with permit only. My question is, who's going to check this? Who is going to be there at the beach? There should be limited amount of cars there, and there's not going to be. Also on the road, are they going to be allowed to park on Lake Avenue with a permit? Okay. And are the police going to be patrolling this? Because unless you are going to go out there and make an example by taking a few of the cars and towing them away, they just take the tickets off their cars, they throw them, and they leave. Nothing's ever done. I don't want to be calling the police 3-4 times a day on Saturday and 3-4 times a day on Sunday or on the holidays. And Memorial Day is around the corner. I went down to the beach today, and I was told that there's no bonfires, there's nothing going on the beach. I have pictures on my phone, 9 pictures showing 9 different spots where they light fires and cook right alongside of a dead tree, a tree that's standing tall and dried out. We're the forgotten territory, and we're tired of it. Last year was horrific. I had people pulling on my lawn and barbecuing. I come home from church and I'm like, excuse me, this is private property. No, it's the beach. No, it's not the beach. So please, I'm thankful that you're saying they have to have a permit, but unless someone is going to be there, check how many people are going in there with a permit, or the people who are on the roads. It's mass chaos, and that lake is being ruined. I clean it up every Monday. I have a mess to clean up. I'm begging you, please. That is a pristine, gorgeous lake, but it's not going to be. When you put 200 people into a lake that small, it's not going to stay pristine. So please, please make sure there's someone there to make sure the permits are legal and to stop them from parking on that road. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we did have a meeting, and we've had several meetings, and, you know, we have some ideas that we're working through. And actually, we got an offer from the trustees today to help with the monitoring, right? Didn't President Horowitz mention that we could use marine, what's the word for it?
Maintenance.
Marine Patrol.
Marine patrol. So I don't know if you wanted to add
So
anything else
we
at
are going to
this
be
point.
extending the pilot program, which will cover weekends. We will be setting that public hearing tonight. I'm going to be introducing another public hearing to make that the restrictions on the parking area 7 days through the season. And if the board agrees, we will be setting that in place at the end of May. I'm also in contact with the county to extend the no parking on Lake Avenue considerably far northeast to Lakeview Avenue, where it intersects with Lake. So yes, and we are in contact with the police, and it will be monitored.
Yeah, well, we have the resolution on for tonight about the renewing the parking restrictions. And, you know, we have some other ideas about the enforcement, so
I went on the other side.
stay tuned. All right, Dan Gadsby.
Oh, wow, let's see, who it is.
Good evening, Supervisor Moore, council members, and the board. I'm here to ask a question. I've been living in the east end of Long Island in Sag Harbor since 1991. I had a restaurant with my wife in Sag Harbor called B. Smith's, and I had several properties that I used for my employees, both in Riverhead and Flanders. And I understood the need for having purchased properties, the need for affordable housing. And I joined the Town of Southampton Housing Authority proudly because I know this enclave can't exist as a donut where everyone comes in, but the people who are working have to leave and travel back and forth, as we all know, with the with what's called the trade parade. And I heard just in the last day or so that as a member of the Town of Southampton Housing Authority for the past 8 years, I was not reappointed. So I'm asking why.
Well, we had, a council member, Silly and I had a meeting with Curtis Highsmith probably 2 months ago, or at least a month ago, and we were going through, you know, a lot of things. He was talking to us about the program. But then we talked about the members, and he mentioned to us that you had relocated your residents to East Hampton. And so we told him at that time that, well, we were, you know, limiting it to Southampton Town residents for the Southampton Town Housing Authority. And he said he was going to, that there was an advisory position that he was going to appoint you to.
He did not, but the reason I moved from Sag Harbor to East Hampton was because my wife had Alzheimer's. And my wife had to be enclosed in an environment. We lived in Sag Harbor Hills for 27 years. And what she would do is she would get out no matter what, and she would walk the beach or disappear. She would end up usually somewhere near or in the American Hotel. And it got to be so dangerous. One night she left as we were leaving, and I had to use helicopters and the state police to find her, much less the time that she got off the bus in New York City and walked literally 32 miles for a day and a half. So the reason I purchased the property was that it was 5.5 acres enclosed, and so no matter what, because she was like a magician, and anyone who's had anybody that's had a family member with dementia or Alzheimer's knows that they have this uncanny ability to escape or to just walk away. So that's the reason why I'm in East Hampton, not for the sake of just moving there. But I would like to ask the board to reconsider me because having grown up in Brooklyn, having lived in substandard housing, having turned 70 years old 2.5 weeks ago, one of my missions has been to make sure that on the east end of Long Island that affordable housing is not something that's a dream but a reality. So I kindly look upon you to reconsider having me rejoin the board.
Do you still own property in the town?
I do not own property in the town, but I must admit, and I think everyone or some people know, that when Anna Thronhorst appointed me, and within the charter, there's no necessarily, you don't have
Just
to.
out of curiosity.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member, but I am a member of the East End community. I consider Southampton, East Hampton, Sag Harbor all part of an ecosystem and a sociological and environment that's so special that we need, and anyone who's willing to serve on that board, we need people who want to make sure that affordable housing is a reality. And the town of Southampton Housing Authority, I can tell you, has done a monumental job in the face of unbelievable opposition. But when you find out that, you know, a school teacher and a police officer or a restaurant manager or a postal worker can't afford to live out here because basically $1 million is an acre of land. And that's why I really felt very strongly about staying on the board, being part of it and being part of the process, and hopefully part of the solution.
Well,
And-
yes,
and you
you're
can't-
right, the Housing Authority has done a tremendous job, and, you know, Curtis speaks so highly of you.
Yeah.
But our understanding is that the code reads that members of the town boards and committees and agencies must reside in the town of Southampton. But he did say he had another position in the Housing Authority for you, so I can call him. I don't have my notes with me tonight.
And Mr. Gaspey, I appreciate your story. I think it's really important. I also believe there was communication, there's an email with you, and we're having a meeting with Curtis, and I believe Councilmember Tommy John was also
Right.
included in that email, and I think we're scheduling that meeting.
Okay, but I wanted to express my
Absolutely.
belief in what we have done, belief in what the town of Southampton is doing,
Yeah.
and what, to everyone here, the need for affordable housing is not something that's off in the distance.
We
We're
agree.
6,000-7,000 units down right now.
We
If
agree.
And we still could use more, so thank you very much.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you
Yeah,
coming to
thank
the
you.
podium, and
Thank
we
you very
will
much,
reconsider your
And
appointment.
we do have East Hampton residents on our sustainability committee,
Yeah.
so.
We don't want to lose him in his
Well,
talent.
maybe we should think that. And by the way, you're still in a holdover status until somebody is reappointed. In the interim, just so you know, you continue to participate on that agency.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Perkowski?
Good afternoon, Mr. Town Supervisor and council members. You heard all the miseries that we're having over in Wildwood Trail, I'm sure by now. Forgive my dirtiness, but I was notified of this meeting at 2:30 this afternoon,
That's quite all right.
so I could change my shirt but not my pants. I'd like to bring to the attention of the town board on the parking situation that was handled in November of this past year. Chapter 3219, resolution number 36 was passed by the town board. And I'd ask the clerk to please provide copies to each one of our council people and supervisor. I only have one copy. I didn't have enough time to prepare a written speech over
Can't do
copies.
that at this moment in time.
No, I know that, I know that, I understand. I understand, I'm sorry.
That's okay, I'm happy to do it.
Resolution number 36 was proposed by Rick Martell and second by Ms. McNamara. I'm trying to find the exact spot it is where it does restrict the parking on Wildwood Trail and Northampton. It was already handled once already. Why is it being handled again? And I thank the highway supervisor being here. If he looks at these laws, 36 and 37, you'll see that it's restricted parking.
It was a pilot program, I believe.
No, the
No,
streets,
it
the
was not
streets
the
were
pilot.
separate, the streets are done. This is just for the parking lot.
What you have, but
Yes.
I'm asking you at the town portion of, about the laws.
We
that are
don't have
already
to
on books.
redo that, that's done.
Okay,
That's restricted.
but there's no parking signs up?
There's no parking signs up?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll look into that with the highway
Also,
superintendent.
37.
We have
is-
the highway superintendent here also.
This is why I'm glad he's here. Can I call you Charlie?
Charles just wrote it down in his.
But I'd like to remind you, 36 and 37 were already passed once already. The parking situation was handled, it's just the signs are missing.
Yep, we'll put,
The temporary signs got picked up and thrown in the woods. So please, put up the permanent ones. And I know my wife suggested about towing. If you tow 1 or 2, word gets around. You know, when we sit there and we look out our kitchen window and they leave the parking lot or the road and they go west, nobody goes east. They're not Southampton town residents. They don't belong there. You know, we should have a parking attendant there. Yes, I understand there's money involved. We put enough money into the summer program, I think we can allow some dollars for there. We're a neglected lake, and we're one of the only freshwater lakes in Southampton town. Why the rest of Southampton doesn't visit it, they're losing out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. John, please, if you have any more meetings, notify me. I live next door, folks. I hear about secret meetings about this thing, I have secret meetings about that.
No secret meetings.
Yes, I do.
But there is a group, and we would include you with the group. There's a group of concerned citizens that we do meet with on this. Not secret. Right, Jock?
All right, so now we'll move on with the rest of the public comment. And I just want to remind everyone that it's a 3-minute limit, please, and respect that. Next person is Jean Tegans.
Good evening. My name is Jeannie Teggins, and I live in West Hampton Beach. Longtime voter, first-time speaker. I requested to speak to the board to voice my objection of the nomination of Brian Tiemann to the CPF Advisory Board. The CPF Board is crucial to making decisions about property that is important to preserve for the environmental impacts to our community. In my opinion, Mr. Tiemann has been cavalier in his decisions regarding creating a solar project on a Quag forested property that is clearly a green belt to the Quag Wildlife Refuge. He has never spoken about or considered the environmental factors in developing the property, including the clear cutting of 11 acres. Substituting one green project for another existing ecosystem, green for green, doesn't feel like a true benefit. It would seem his decisions and actions are in direct conflict of preservation, and for these reasons, I respectfully object to his nomination. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathleen Strand.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Strand. I reside in West Hampton Village, West Hampton Beach Village. I as well strongly object to the appointment of the proposed member, Brian Timon. I grew up in this area. I've been here 60 years. When I can see forest, I'm appreciative. Quag Wildlife Refuge and that whole entire neighborhood and the lands that surround it need to be preserved. Parking lots can be used for solar panels. You can put them above parking lots. If you think outside the box, we don't have to take any trees down. We don't have to put any industrial anything near residential areas or nearby where Quag Wildlife Refuge is. Your drive up to Quag Wildlife Refuge is forested, and you don't want that to be affected at all. So I implore you to nominate people onto advisory boards that can think outside that box and possibly put things like this to other areas that aren't going to affect any wildlife or any forest or any open land. And the Community Advisory Board, the Community Preservation Advisory Board, we need people that really, really want to keep our trees and take none down. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. Barbara Metcalf. Okay, Valerie Mondini. Mary Ferraro. Lila Massey.
Good evening. I'm Layla Massey. I live at 3 Jennifer's Path in Quayog. I'm also here to voice my opinion to oppose the nomination for Brian Timons. As a trustee for the Village of West Hampton Beach, I feel like he let us down. I know for a fact he's affecting my environment. I live 100 feet from where this is going to be. And I don't want anyone on the CPF board to have that kind of influence without letting the neighbors of solar project not even know what's going on and how it's going to affect them, because we're animals too, and my environment is being highly affected, along with all the animals and trees. There are trees there. Yes, it is clear cut. A little bit of it is clear cut, yes, but a lot of it isn't. It's beautiful back there still. I enjoy it. We enjoy it as neighbors. And I just can't trust someone who I feel like went behind our back to do this. I don't know him personally. I'm not trying to attack his character, but I just don't like how it was handled. And so why should someone like that get rewarded? That's just my opinion. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Jacques Carmer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's nice to see you all again. I'm actually here to read a letter. Take me a moment. This is from Brian Tiemann. I want to thank our great supervisor and town council members for the opportunity to serve the community and the environment on this board. I understand that a group of neighbors who oppose to a proposed solar farm on West Hampton Beach Village property are upset and therefore object to my appointment. And I can understand and appreciate those feelings. I'm truly sorry that you question my integrity and my commitment to public service. Those of you who know me know that public service and environmental protection are in my blood. Those of you who don't know me, well, it is reasonable to question and or doubt me. but I like the challenge of proving myself. I promise that I will carry out my duties on this board with honor and diligence. I pride myself on exercising civility, and I hope you join me in civil discourse. Please contact me anytime, and I eagerly look forward to potentially working with you on a successful CPF program. I've known Brian Tiemann since he was in high school. I'm actually related to him, full disclosure, through his wife. And he is one of the more dedicated public servants that I've ever met. He's shown enormous balance, enormous dedication, and it goes well beyond what he does on boards, in some cases uncompensated. It goes to what he does for people that he barely knows, the money that he raises at holiday time, charities that he started himself and contributes to continuously. I can't tell you how many times he and I have discussed environmental affairs, from oysters to solar projects, and we always come out looking for the balance in things, and that's what he looks for. And he's absolutely, positively sincere when he talks about being willing to sit down with anyone and discuss. He's absolutely sincere. I mean, annoyingly sincere. So that's my brief and shining moment on Brian Tiemann.
Thank you, Jacques.
Thank you, Jacques.
Julie Thatcher.
Jacques, can you email that letter from Brian to Sunday, please, for the files? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Thatcher. I'm impressed that you could pronounce that.
Could you speak up a little closer to the microphone and put it down?
Better?
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm from Southampton Beach. I oppose the nomination of Brian Tiemann to the CPF Advisory Board. I would like to say that that you may have read things on social media, and I can't speak to what you've received via email, but none of this is a personal attack on Brian. I'm sure he's a very nice person, and I'm sure he believes he is acting in the best interest of Southampton Beach when making his decisions. In regards to his nomination to the CPF Advisory Board, I do not believe he always acts in the best interest of the environment, particularly in light of his recommendation to lease village property for solar panels. While a large portion of that land may already be cleared, a large portion of it is not. Additionally, the wildlife in the area are currently not deterred from the property. However, the solar panels would deter them from traveling the property. I am not speaking as a keyboard warrior who is only informed by social media threads. I am speaking as a resident who has hiked those woods since childhood. I am also a volunteer for Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue, and I know that wildlife exists there, and his recommendation of solar panels, which do not benefit the environment, but actually cause detriment and risk to the environment, should not, and therefore he should not be appointed to the CPF Advisory Board. Thank you.
Thank you. Louis De Pasquale.
Hi, my name is Louis De Pasquale. I live at 19 Jennifer's Path. I also oppose the nomination of Brian Tiemann for all the reasons that everybody, I'm not going to go over that whole thing, but Supervisor, with all due respect, I did take offense to saying that it's like a dump. This is what this is referred to, that it's a dump back there and it's 2/3 clear. I can show the board a picture of it right now. It's not 2/3 clear. This is the property. Look at all the.
I mean, I know there's a lot of trees around the perimeter, but on the interior, there's a lot of piles of
This is the interior.
construction debris, and I didn't say it was a dump.
I'm familiar with it.
You
And have
walked
been
it. I
on.
saw you
I know.
walking it the other night.
Right. To see for myself, right.
And you saw it.
I did.
And how did it look to you? Did it look just
Well,
Did it
I mean,
look
this is your
two-thirds
time to
clear?
make comments.
No, I know, but it's an
Yeah.
open discussion, and that's what I'd like to have with the board, is an
It's
open
not,
discussion.
this isn't really an open
Okay,
discussion. Yeah.
so I know that there's supposed to be just leaves and debris and the dead animals that they had, that's what was supposed to be there, but there is some concrete piles that
And
people,
If I may, I just
Sure.
want to also interject that this is also before the planning board, and I don't want to inject commentary from the town board when an ongoing plan is before the planning board, and they truly do need to render a decision.
understood.
And I don't want to.
It's not even a formal application at
They
this
just,
point.
yeah,
in
they
time.
just.
Understood.
right, They just went through the pre-submission process, so it's not
Right.
even, there's not even a formal application pending before the planning board at this moment.
That's understood, and we understand that, but it was brought up
Sure,
about
I
the
understand.
property, so
Yeah.
we need to just make the record clear.
Absolutely.
You know, and it does, it might be a distance from Quogue Wildlife, but it's a whole wooded area. That whole back area goes all the way, because there's the Water Authority, then the Quogue Wildlife. So it's wooded all the way through. I mean, God forbid, and they will be able to put batteries. You know, I don't think that they realize that when they sign the lease. They will be able to put batteries without any permission at all, and that's a problem, once they lift the moratorium. So, I mean, that's just for the public record. Thank you for hearing me.
I would just like to say a couple of things. Oh, you could sit down. so-
Please, I can
yeah.
go back.
No, that's okay. Thank you. I don't want to minimize the folks who are here about the solar plan. I understand that you have concerns. I've emailed you, some of you back, mentioning that let the planning board do their due diligence, and then, we'll see where we're at from there. But I just want to comment on Brian Tiemann just for a second. I do know him. He's involved heavily in this community, whether you know it or not. And I understand that the community right now is very opposed to this project. And again, not minimizing that. But, Brian, to me, it was mentioned that he's very genuine. I can tell you that he is very much driven by doing good things in government and in the community. He is driven by service. He's somebody who's worked with people like Ed Romaine, Cindy McNamara, good friends with our colleague here on the board, Maria. And he doesn't care what party you belong to. He's somebody who really just cares about doing the right thing. And I can say, too, just in terms of what I'm thinking, and I'm really just doing this for full transparency purposes because I believe you deserve it. He's somebody who has worked with Save the Bays. He was a key actor in fostering fundraising, Peconic Land Trust. He leads the Oceans of Hope galas, works with the Marine Rescue Center. I would say I understand you're all driven by something right now because of something you don't appreciate what's happening, and I understand that. But I would also just have you just take a second look at who Brian is. We will all make a consideration based on this public testimony, right? But I also want you to also think about, really do a deeper dive on who Brian really is. I do think he's a great person, great public servant who's driven by doing the right thing. And I just wanted to make a mention of that.
Not
also
judged
was-
by one
Right.
one
There's
incident.
always another side.
He was also a town trustee for a number of years.
Just because you threw me under the bus there, Michael.
Sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
No, but I do know, and somebody said I don't know him personally. I do know Brian personally. I've known him for a number of years. And I will echo what Michael said, and that he is very community driven. And while I didn't put him forward for this appointment, I will support him for this appointment because I know that he is a person of character. And I know that if you wanted to talk to Brian face to face, I know somebody posted yesterday on social media that they were coming here tonight, and Brian was the first post on there to say, sit down, have a conversation with me, let's talk about it. And, maybe you took him up on that, maybe you didn't, but he was genuine in his desire to reach out and have a conversation. Listen, the prior town board put battery energy storage code in place and ended up with a potential site on the canal that we all know how that has ended, and it actually is, you know, we're in the midst of a moratorium based on that. So there are things that happened with elected boards that we do that in our minds at the time, we see it as a positive thing. And I know Brian went into this as a positive thing for the environment and green energy, and I really don't think he did this to be a detriment to the community. And like I said, the prior town board put a code in place that ended up resulting in a horrible location. You know, you might say, well, he knew the location. That's to be debated, but I know Brian, and I know him to be an honorable, upstanding person. And if you want to know more about Brian and what he does, I believe it was last year he was the man of the year in the Southampton Press.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Oh.
You have to order.
I can't speak for what the West Hampton Village Board did. It was their decision. I just, we can't speak to the West Hampton Beach Village Board's decision to place it there.
People can't hear you talk. You're not- She's just talking to a ghost out there. You have to come up to the
Well,
microphone.
but you're not, but you've already had your
You've already
3
had your 3
minutes.
minutes.
The point is, it's not a back and forth.
Yeah, well, you don't have to, we
Well-
listen to you, and then we're giving
What I
our
said wasn't meant to be
comments, too.
a dialogue. It was just, you had your say about, no, there were several people that spoke about Brian and his character. And as somebody that personally knew Brian, I felt compelled to say what I know of Brian personally. I do not know in detail about this project.
Okay. Are we ready to move?
Next.
Next thing.
Well, since we're going to be, Chair, please.
You gotta stop that.
Yeah, one
So,
thing shouldn't,
We still have to go.
right,
to
well,
Zoom.
since we,
define
if
a
you're done,
person's
Councilwoman?
entire
Yeah.
life.
Okay. I would like to chime in as well. You know, as far as Brian Tiemann, I've known him, you know, since I've been involved in this for the better part of a decade and a half. He is a true public servant over in West Hampton Beach. He actually is our liaison to Gabrisky Airport for capital projects and leases over there. You know, so we look to him for a number of different things. Now, I understand that you all are, you know, that there's the solar farm issue, you know, next year subdivision over there. I did walk the property, and I'll let the planning board, you know, have their processes there. But I've known Brian to be, you know, like I said, a consummate public service. When he was a trustee with the Southampton town, he served it admirably. And he is a trustee for the Village of West Hampton as well. And one of the things that sticks out for me with Brian is that during the pandemic, he went out of his way to collect and distribute food for people who needed it. And that to me speaks volumes. I read about him in the newspaper. I helped him. I've worked with him. And I do know him. And I think he would be a good member on this board. So I too will be supporting him for those reasons. And thank you for coming, though.
And actually, I met Brian about 16 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, when he was a trustee. I actually ran against him, and I won. And we actually became good friends. He actually came over to my house after he lost and helped me make a pond. And we actually made a relationship, friend over the years. And I think what these guys said about him, it's all true. I mean, if I call Brian up now and say, Brian, I need help, what do you think about that? He would come over and help anyone.
Yeah.
So I think you really got to consider what you hear and what you know and what you think.
All right. So it concludes our,
Zoom.
Thank you for reminding me. Kevin, is there anyone on Zoom with the hand up to speak in the public portion?
Maybe Mark.
Okay. Well, then I move to close the public portion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And
I did.
because our highway superintendent is here with us, I would like to I'd like to move to take the 2 highway resolutions out of order so that in case anyone has any questions for him before he leaves. It's Resolution 2 of 2024-497 on page 22 regarding a drainage award. And the second is 2024-498 on page 23 regarding an asphalt award. So I need a second for the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Which Okay, which one?
We're starting
are we
on page
voting on?
21.
22.
22.
Bottom of 21 is the,
21, yeah.
Town Board Resolution 2024-497, Central Person Contract Complete. Award authorized to supervise the signed contract for drainage construction with Dell, Coal and Stone, DBA South Fork Asphalt for east of the canal and Rosemar contract for west of the canal.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
On the motion, just say that I reviewed this with council, and I too will support these two resolutions. Aye.
2024-498, award authorized to supervise the signed contract with furnished installed asphalt with Coazini Asphalt and Rosemar contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for staying, Superintendent.
Thank you, Charles.
Thanks, Charles.
Oh, no, it's a thing.
Town Board Resolution 2024-454, co-sponsored by Councilman McNamara, Moore, and Scavone. Resolution authorized enforcement action on 188 West Next Road, Tuckahoe, 11968, tax map 900-111-2-10.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 481 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone. Authorize a renewal with ESRI Inc. for the Hampton Bays Water District ArcGIS Online Creator Annual Subscription.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-482 to authorize the purchase of traffic signal installation and modification with Hink Electrical Contractor from the Suffolk County contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-483, authorized the purchase of tree maintenance equipment, grinder, termite screen, compost turner tree, chipper, mulching from Benair North Atlantic using Sourcewell contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 484 of 2024, authorizing the purchases and installation for ADA improvements with DL Concrete Corp. using Suffolk County DPW contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-485, co-sponsored with Councilman Pell, to authorize purchases from H.O. Penn Machinery Company, Inc. for generator emergency service repair and parts using Suffolk County contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-486, authorized purchase of electrical supply from Tuttle and Hughes, Inc., using Suffolk County contracts.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-487, co-sponsored by Councilman Schiavone, to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with A. Martin Petrovic, Professor of Horticulture, to review the 2024 groundwater monitoring reports of the Sabonic Golf Course.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-488, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with A. Martin Petrovic, Professor of Horticulture, to review the 2024 groundwater monitoring reports, annual superintendent's report, and management of the Bridge Golf Course.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town Board Resolution 489 of 2024, authorize the supervisor to execute a service agreement with Source Pass Contemporary LLC.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 490 of 2024, authorizing the supervisor to execute the 2024 Inspirational Triathlon Racing, Inc., doing business as
Second.
iTri contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 491 of 2024, authorize the supervisor to execute 2024 Parks and Rec agreement for programs.
Co-sponsor, Madam Clerk?
We need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town Board Resolution 492 of 2024. I need to make a motion to amend, and Sunday I will provide this to you here, to change CCSI in the title to Source Pass Contemporary LLC. And in the second whereas, to change Contemporary Computer Service to Source Pass Contemporary LLC. And in the first resolve, to strike through contemporary computer services. So I'd like to make a motion to make those amendments.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. And I'd like to make a motion to pass the resolution as amended.
Same second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would you like this here?
Town Board Resolution 493 of 2024, authorize supervisor to sign agreement with Creative Advertising Concepts, Inc. for the implementation of a free sunscreen program at town parks and beaches.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-494, co-sponsored by the entire board, to authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with MuniReg LLC to address issues related to the maintenance of vacant and/or abandoned properties in order to comply with Town Code Chapter 262 and State Law S. 3933.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-495, authorize the supervisor to sign extended contract with MacTech Engineering and Geology PC for Damascus Road landfill site.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 496 of 2024, authorize supervisor to sign contract with Ryan D'Amico DBA Dynamics Productions New York LLC for sound system at Good Ground Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-497.
We did that.
No, we did those.
Did that.
We're on
Oh,
24,
right, we
page
did
24,
those already.
499.
Sorry.
Town Board Resolution 499 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Pell. Authorize the purchase of 2023 Ford Transit 250 from Ferrario Ford, Inc.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-500, to authorize the purchase of a 2024 Ford Maverick XL from DeLacy Ford, Inc.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 501 of 2024, authorizing, co-sponsored with the entire board, authorizing the purchase of a new playground and installation services at North Sea Community Park.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-502, co-sponsored by the entire board, to authorize the town to participate in the Environmental Facilities Corporation's Clean Vessel Assistance Program, Operation and Maintenance Project to support the Bay Constable's Pump-Out Boat Program for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-503, co-sponsored by Councilman Pell, to declare items surplus and authorize disposal of vehicles and equipment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-504, to recall and amend Resolution Number 2021-954, to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Briscoe Protective LLC for semi-annual inspections at Hampton Bays Annex.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-505, co-sponsored by council members Iacilli and McNamara. 2024 notice to bidders for construction equipment and marina maintenance services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town
Town-
Board, oh, what? Did we miss one?
506 is next.
Town Board
All right.
Resolution 506 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Iacilli. 2024 notice to bidders for Mercedes-Benz Sprinter cargo van.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-507. Notice, 2024 notice to bidders on reflected shale and traffic marking tape.
Second.
Which, hold on,
A
you have an
walk-on.
amendment to make
Yeah.
on the title. So, I'll take, Councilman Iacilli's second to amend.
Amend.
Yes.
And then you need to vote.
Aye.
Same second, same vote.
Okay, and do you want me to read the title
Yes.
changes? Okay.
'Cause I didn't like that.
So, we're inserting
that.
into the title, street signs, blanks, in addition to the reflectorized sheeting and traffic marking tape. So there's two additional items
I'll make
that are
that
added
motion.
to the bid.
All
For
in favor?
2024-507.
Second.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Aye.
How about aye?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 2024-508, to amend the 2024 budget for various departments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-509, co-sponsored by Councilman Pell, to amend the 2024-2028 capital budget for Red Creek Park Hockey Rink project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-510, to authorize the general fund pay-as-you-go purchase of commercial convection oven.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-511, co-sponsored by Councilman Schiavone, for the Flanders Northampton Volunteer Ambulance Company Service Award Program.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-512, co-sponsored by Councilman Schiavone, for the Hampton Bays Volunteer Ambulance Corps Service Award Program.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-513, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, for the Southampton Volunteer Ambulance Corps Service Award Program.
Same second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Town Board Resolution 2024-514, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, for the West Hampton War Memorial Ambulance Association, Inc. Service Award Program.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 515 of 2024, appoint Agricultural Advisory Committee for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-516, to appoint William Wright to the Architectural Review Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Cindy,
Aye.
could you add me as a co-sponsor on that?
Got it.
Thank you.
Town Board Resolution 2024-517, to appoint Michael Charrier, Chair of the Architectural Review Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-518, to reappoint individuals to the Audit Advisory Committee.
Second. Aye.
No, second.
No, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-519, co-sponsored with Councilmember Iacilli, to reappoint Cynthia Neely to the Audit Advisory Committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-520, to appoint Edward Moneypenny, Chair of the Audit Advisory Committee for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-521, co-sponsored by Councilmember Iacilli, to appoint Community Preservation Fund Advisory Committee for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
And I'd also like to say Rainbow Chavis is being appointed to this board as well, who is of the Shinnecock Nation. Very happy to see her and some of the contributions she's going to lend to the CPF Advisory Board. So
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
And we want to thank Elena Rivera-Williams from the Shinnecock Nation,
For her
who did
service,
step
yeah.
aside for this position.
Yes.
She did a great job as well.
Yep.
Town Board Resolution 2024-522, co-sponsored with Councilwoman McNamara, to appoint Adam Halsey, Chair of the Community Preservation Fund Advisory Committee for 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-523, to reappoint individuals to the Conservation Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-524, to appoint Harry Ludlow, Chair of the Conservation Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-525, to appoint George Hine, Vice Chair of the Conservation Board for 2024.
Second, and I'd like to co-sponsor, Madam Clerk. I know George Hine is a great individual, local to Pine Neck, very knowledgeable guy about our environment, so very happy about that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-526, to reappoint individuals to the Board of Ethics.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-527, to reappoint James Nespold to the Board of Ethics.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-524, co-sponsored by Councilman Schiavone, to reappoint individuals to the Landmarks and Historic Districts Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-529, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint individuals to the Landmarks and Historic District Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-530, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Edward Wisnowski, Chair of the Landmarks and Historic Districts Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-531, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Stephanie Davis as Vice Chair of the Landmarks and Historic Districts Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-532, to appoint Walter Britton, Chair of the Public Safety Commission for 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-533, to appoint Anthony D'Italia to the Public Safety Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-534, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Jackie LaFaro, Chair of the Planning Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-535, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Dennis Finnerty as Vice Chair of the Planning Board for 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-536, to reappoint Helen Burgess to the Southampton Housing Authority.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-537, to reappoint Bonnie Michelle Cannon to the Southampton Housing Authority.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-538, to reappoint Barbara Fair to the Southampton Housing Authority.
Second. And Madam Clerk, may I be co-sponsor to Town Board Resolution 537, the previous one, reappointing Bonnie Michelle Cannon, please? She's done a lot of great work in our community. I want to make sure.
Wonderful lady.
Nobody else.
Thank
No,
you.
yeah, many of these folks, they're just, yeah, they're great people, but I know Bonnie has done a lot of great work with the Housing Authority. I want to make sure that I co-sponsor that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-539, to reappoint Andrea Klausner to the Southampton Housing Authority.
Second. And I'd like to be co-sponsor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, may I be co-sponsor to all the Housing Authority resolutions?
All of them?
The Housing Authority resolutions, yes.
She wants to go home.
Shane admitted that one.
Sorry.
Do you need
You
a
got me
minute?
there.
Sorry,
No, I'll
Sophie.
do it after we're done.
That's Cindy's fault.
I don't want to hold it against
Well, you can't single one person out.
Town Board Resolution 2024-540, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to reappoint Susan Cohn to the Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also known as Susan Haberman.
Town Board Resolution 2024-541, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Julie Kane to the Southampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-542, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Kevin McDonald to the Southampton Town Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-543, co-sponsored with Councilman Schiavone, to appoint Susan Cohn Haberman, Chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals for 2024.
Second. Sorry, that's your
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I want to thank everybody on these boards who are stepping up, and I'm sure the board feels the same way. They do a really fantastic job for the town.
They really do.
We do.
And we could stop at each one and give a little
Yeah,
story on
right.
everyone, so. just-
Yes.
Sure could.
Maybe next year when they're.
Town Board Resolution 2024-544, resolution adopt amend 312 to authorize 2 additional stop signs at Mill Road and South Country Road, creating a all-way stop.
Second, and I'd like to co-sponsor, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
I'll co-sponsor that too, please.
How about the whole board?
Sure.
What do you say?
Okay.
Okay.
It's easier.
I guess it's a statement if I don't. If everyone else co-sponsors,
You want to get
and
called
I
out on
don't,
that one.
But I will vote yes.
You didn't want the
So,
stop sign?
you know what?
And we will be inserting number 5, as this is the 5th local law that you're adopting.
Yes.
So I'll go on as a sponsor too.
Inserting number 5. Do we have to amend it to do that?
No. Okay. Town Board
Who was the
Resolution,
second?
Me.
we all said aye.
I don't think you voted either.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Town Board Resolution 2024-545, resolution adopt amend 312, authorize addition stop signs at Header Pond and Lower Seven Pond Road.
Second,
Second.
I'd like-
co-sponsor.
Me as well.
The whole
Are we gonna do the whole
board.
board again for Sunday? Go ahead, come on.
You want the whole
Oh,
board?
you're all, and now you're
Yes,
looking at me to
I'm
go
looking
sponsor
at you
too.
now,
Yeah.
waiting for you.
Oh, yeah,
to
sure.
Okay.
Stop
All
sign.
right, and that is local law number 6.
Yeah, Michael second.
Okay, insert the 6
And
and
Michael Isley is the second.
Thank you,
All-
Madam Clerk.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
That's you.
Town Board Resolution 546 of 2024, co-sponsored with Councilman Iacilli, authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for the First Baptist Church Walking by Faith Victory Service on May 5th, 2024, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 547 of 2024. This is a memorializing resolution of Assembly Bill 9416 and Senate Bill 8731 as it relates to the leasing of the historic windmill at the Stony Brook Southampton campus. I will be withdrawing this resolution as the bill has been added to the budget and it has been passed. So no memorializing
on the-
resolution is needed
On the state level.
on the state
budget,
level, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Town Board Resolution 2024-548, resolution to extend parking by permit only, a pilot program of town code. Oops, was yours.
Go ahead.
No, I
that's
don't want
fine.
to take it. Sorry, I apologize.
I'm not sure where you're left off here, but.
You can start from the
Restart
beginning.
Okay,
Take
Town
two.
Board Resolution 548 of 2024, resolution extending the parking by permit only pilot program, Town Code Chapter 31262 at Wildwood Lake Park for weekends and federal holidays, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, from May 15th to September 15th for an additional 1-year period. This is a pilot program. We're going to move forward with this, and then we plan on moving forward to make it a 7-day-a-week parking by permit only in that parking lot. So with that said, motion?
So
Second.
rather than amending it, you're saying?
Well, this one is this is an extension of a pilot plan.
Yeah.
So the next one will be implementing the pilot plan as permanent. And it'll be 7 days a week in season.
That'll be at a later time, you can,
Yeah.
Right.
We had to do it this way because this is quick.
you still have a little time.
We need a public hearing on that.
We
Yeah.
will be introducing resolution for a public hearing in May on the 7 days a week in season.
Okay.
Still pretty
Thank
quiet
you.
over there right now,
All in favor?
Aye.
except for the construction at the house.
Town Board Resolution 2024-549, to accept the resignation of Heather Drapel, Justice Court Clerk in the Justice Court.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-550, to accept the retirement of Sharon Ann Bacon, minibus driver in Housing and Community Service.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-551, to appoint Diane Durner to Administrative Assistant in the
Second.
Town Attorney's Office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town
Thank you.
Board Resolution, yeah, congratulations, Jim. Town Board Resolution 2024-552, to appoint Jenna Laparati to Driver, Messenger, in Senior Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-553, to appoint Peter Miller to Principal Accountant in the Comptroller's Office.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 554 of 2024, authorizing the Youth Bureau Program Coordinator to attend the Association of New York State Youth Court Conference.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 555 of 2024. This is a notice of public hearing for the consideration of 1-year agricultural use agreements for 24 and 25 pursuant to Chapter 247 of the Town Code.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I know. Town Board Resolution 556 of 2024, co-sponsored with Supervisor Moore. Notice of public hearing to amend Chapter 19 entitled Department of Police, Public Safety Commission in order to consolidate functions of the License Review Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, page 74. I think, I don't know when to do this, Sunday, but I think that there was an error. I believe the supervisor was supposed to be on this, and Councilman, I don't know that you were.
I'm sorry.
I know that Supervisor Moore asked to be on this next resolution, but I don't know that Councilman Scavone did.
It's all part of the same.
This is on
licensing
557.
board.
I see which one you're on. Do you want me
Yeah.
to?
Going
take
back to the work session, yeah, I will co-sponsor this.
Okay.
If that's
And
what
me
you're
as well.
asking, right?
So then you add the supervisor, so it's the whole board?
Yeah, I thought I
Thank you.
had, yeah, I thought.
Town Board Resolution 557 of 2024, co-sponsored with the entire board. Notice of public hearing to amend Chapter 143 contractors in order to reorganize procedures and standards for home improvement contractor license.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Town Board Resolution 558 of 2024, co-sponsored with Supervisor Moore. Notice of public hearing to amend Chapter 299, Regulation of Taxicabs and Other Vehicles to consolidate functions of the License Review Board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And those public hearings will happen on Tuesday, May 14th at 1
I'm
p.m.
sorry, who was the second?
Me.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on 559, right? Yeah.
When you get to these.
Okay, Town Board Resolution 559 of 2024, co-sponsored by Councilman Pell, Supervisor Moore, and Councilman Yaselli. A public hearing to consider donation/transfer of land at the terminus of Bay Bluff Way, Noyak, owned by the town of Southampton, to the Community Preservation Fund, and to amend the Community Preservation Fund project plan and CPF management and stewardship plan to include said property.
Second.
I thought you co-sponsored that, Councilwoman McNamara.
I
That's
did
the one
not.
with
You
the
can add me to it.
stairways?
Yeah, it's fine. Sunday, you can add me to that.
That's
One as well.
really great
Opportunity.
resolution. I know a lot of people in the area have been asking about this, and it's great that something's getting done, so thank you.
Thank you, been working on it for 2 years.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 2024-560, co-sponsored by the entire board.
Second.
Wait. To schedule a public hearing to consider the donation transfer of land owned by the town at 20 Shinnecock Road, Hampton Bays, to the Community Preservation Fund, and to amend the Community Preservation Project Plan and the CPF Management Plan and Stewardship Plan to include said property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for people that don't know what 20 Shinnecock Road is, it's Bel Air Code.
So can we explain, should we explain to the people what's happening? I mean, it's going into CPF.
And we're having a public hearing.
Public hearing.
Right.
Yeah, for the restriction, to be restricted with CPF.
Right.
The bottom line is it's one day closer to be torn down.
Yeah, it's-
Yes.
we're getting there.
It's up, gonna be up to Jackie.
It's all on Jackie now.
Yes, I'll be nudging her for the people of Hampton Bays.
Town Board Resolution 2024-561, co-sponsored by the entire board. A resolution to adopt the seeker findings in connection with the supplemental review process for the siting and construction of a community sewage treatment plant and associated collection and conveyance system in the hamlet of Riverside.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Town Board Resolution 2024-562, co-sponsored by the entire board, a resolution establishing the Riverside Sewer District in the town of Southampton.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And congratulations, everyone. That's a big
Yes,
step.
thank you.
Thank you to Kathleen Murray, who
Yes.
just snuck in back there.
Thank you, Kathleen.
For all your
Spent
hard
a ton of
work.
time in
and-
that.
And Janice
And
Shear,
Janice.
and
Janice.
Linda
Yes,
Casey,
Janice
and the
as
whole
well.
team.
A lot of people worked on it. A few people tried to stop it, but we're going forward.
Well, this goes
Congratulations
back
to
to
the town of
two-
Southampton on this project.
This goes back several administrations, back to 2006, and, I think it's, 4 different supervisors who have been on this and planners, so,
Wonderful for the
congratulations to
people
the
of
people of
Riverside, and
What's that?
It's wonderful for the people of Riverside.
Riverside,
Absolutely.
that's correct.
Good for the environment and everything else.
Town Board Resolution 462.
Do we introduce the add-ons?
The walk-ons, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, well, let's,
Don't we have a
Okay.
motion to do
Town Board Resolution
guess we're done.
462.
Yeah, no, I-
44. Waive fee for the renewal permit for the Assembly Christ Church,
Second?
Christian Church.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution ID, oh, sorry.
Town Board Resolution ID number 46247, co-sponsored by Councilwoman McNamara and Councilman Scavone. A notice of public hearing to consider the adoption of the 2024 CPF pilot plan.
Second.
All in favor?
And apologies, Supervisor, for jumping in there. I was ambitious because I wanted to also be a co-sponsor to this resolution.
Okay.
Myself, too.
You're, oh wait, you're not.
No, but I'm also do the whole board.
Yeah, hold
Got
on. Thank you.
Town Board Resolution 46253, authorize supervisor to sign the necessary documents to advance permit process for shoreline stabilize at North Sea Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This is-
Cindy, could you add me as a co-sponsor to that?
Me as well.
Yes.
The
Thank
North Sea
you.
Community.
This
Well,
is-
I'll do that too, thank
Yeah,
you.
this is very important. This is at the end of North Sea Road. It goes out to the bay.
Now, I'm going to hold off on this one.
Okay.
But I do love
Just
North
wanna
Sea,
check.
just,
No, thank you. Yeah, this
I
is.
do support it.
You
This
don't
has
want to
been-
stabilize it?
He doesn't want to go see the
Yes, I will be a
sunlight.
sponsor for that, after saying that.
Well, that means you can't go down and see the sunlight.
We got a whole lot of guilt
Identified.
tripping going on here tonight.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Did we vote on that?
No,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jay never had this much fun.
Oh, Town Board Resolution ID number 46255, warrant number 8, capital number 8, CPF number 8, dated April 23rd, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 46258, authorizing the supervisor to execute and submit hazard mitigation grant program elevation sub-applications to New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services for 314 East Montauk Highway, Hampton Bays.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town Board Resolution 46271, this is to authorize the supervisor to execute a loan agreement with the Nantucket Shipwreck and Life-Saving Museum for loan of Race Point surf boat and 4 rowing oars for the Tiana Life-Saving Station. This is a walk-on because time is of the essence.
Cindy, can you add me
Second.
onto this, please? Can you add me on as co-sponsor?
You can add me as well,
As
Cindy.
me as well, Sunday.
We are
It's a good one.
just so in
This is an
sync.
actual relic that will
It's a
be
good
housed at our life-saving station at Tiana. So thank you, Julie, for doing all the work, and then, of
Oh,
course,
yes,
Jackie and
thank you,
Dan
Julie.
for getting that done as well.
It's like a
We
whole
could have
windmill.
taken that out of order. if we
Well,
needed
they-
Julie, did you
they
want to tell
really-
us a little bit about it?
Sure, yes. But if I could, I know that you have, looked at
Don't
different,
forget to vote.
different prices for this.
Second.
And you really got a good price on this one.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, good evening, I'm glad that I stayed.
Thank
We
you for
are
staying
too.
through it.
So this, so the purpose of the Tiana Life Saving Station, or one of the purposes of restoring this historic structure in the town of Southampton, was to turn it into somewhat of a museum. Working with the CPF, I'm hoping that we can turn it into kind of a walking-in, self-guided, historic display exhibits for people to learn about life-saving service in the town of Southampton and Long Island. We have a Coast Guard station in Shinnecock, but this is predates that. So this historic life boat, this surf boat that we have going into a loan agreement with the Nantucket Shipwreck and Life-Saving Museum is great, because we started out with trying to find a boat a couple of years ago to no avail. There were no more historic boats. Amagansett got the last one supposedly out there for loan. I kept keeping up with the U.S. Life-Saving Association, who keeps track of all these boats and all these different museums throughout the country. And then finally, we decided that we were gonna have a boat made. To reproduce a surf boat, it cost, at minimum, $220,000. So I kept putting feelers out there, just the number just seemed to be quite extravagant, for this purpose. I kept praying that we would find an actual boat. I kept my feelers out there, and we got this offer from the Nantucket Shipwreck and Life-Saving Museum a few months ago. They said they had an extra boat. They were reorganizing their museum and needed the space. Every life-saving station would have 2 boats in there for service, so they were happy to loan it to us. They are loaning it for 5 years with the proviso that they will do another 5 years when that term is up. So I'm really looking forward to it coming. We had a bunch of, we had 3 proposals to move the boat off of Nantucket. And what's of the time is of essence right now is because Nantucket's ferry service gets completely booked, and there was absolutely no way to get a boat off of Nantucket that is not seaworthy. This is a historic boat, and has been out of service since the 1940s. So getting it here has been a little bit of a trial. We had a couple of proposals, and then on the final hour, we have a proposal from a marina in Nantucket that is going to move it for the total sum of $3,000.
Nice.
So they're doing it as a favor to the Nantucket Life Saving Museum as well as the town. So it's going to be a historic move for a historic boat.
How big is the boat?
It's 26 feet long. It's about 7 feet wide-ish. It's about 1,500 pounds. So it's coming. It's been restored. So this is a restored vintage boat.
You don't happen to have a picture of it, do you?
No.
I can
Don't ask
pull
Julie
it
that,
up
she'll
on
find
my phone.
'Cause he might want it for the paper.
Yeah,
I'm helping him out.
Well, so you don't have to find it now, you can send
can
it
say
when
it, say
when
it's
you
right
find
there.
it.
and a few years ago, we had the anchor moved, the Circassian shipwreck anchor from Babylon. That was done, and Sunday and Councilman Schiavone were there for the unloading of it in front of the station. So we will hopefully have the same in the snow, right? Freezing cold. So at least it'll be nice and warm, and we'll all have you down to when I get a date on delivery.
That'd be great.
It will be
When
shrink
do you
wrapped
expect it to arrive?
within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
great.
so
And
we'll
it'll be
schedule
shrink
delivery
wrapped.
tomorrow. It'll be shrink wrapped, but I do have to inspect it when it gets here. It's part of
Let us
the
know.
thing, so I'll let you all know when it will be here, and we can
Thank you.
cut it open. We'll have a little ribbon cut.
Perhaps we should have a work session on what you're collecting over there, and perhaps, get some ideas on how to move forward with the life-saving station. And while we're at it, you can explain the significance of the Circassian, to the public
Yeah,
and the board, and,
we're
the connection
working-
with the life rafts.
We're working on signage
Lifeboats, rather.
currently for the opening, which the life-saving station's being restored, the interior currently. It's looking beautiful. What's one nice thing about the life-saving station is that the boat room is pretty much intact, even though it has been a nightclub for so many years. We just removed, I don't know how many layers of paint, but the actual beadboard that's in the boat room, the wood columns, everything is intact. It's been stripped down and sanded, and it will be refinished. So the boat will be a wonderful centerpiece for the boat room, so that we can have tours. And I also would like to have somewhat of a library for research in the boat room, in the little room off of, and we'll do an exhibit for the lifesavers that were manned at the station. So
Thank you,
thank you
Julie.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Really appreciate it.
Good find.
Yes, thanks for your help on
I just
that.
wanted to also thank all the contractors that are working on the tie-in a life-saving station right now, and the detailed oversight that we're getting from our historic coordinator, because literally we're working on how to strip the paint, what's most appropriate, not to damage the wood, and to keep as much of the original character of the building as possible. So I just wanted to say thank you as well, because that's underway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
It's very excited project.
Okay, Town Board Resolution ID number 46275, to award and authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Tower Point Capital LLC for the purpose of the design, construction, and management of a wireless communication structure.
Second.
I'd like to co-sponsor that Sunday, that is at the Shinnecock commercial
Commercial
dock.
fishing dock, yes.
You can add me too, please.
I'd like to be a co-sponsor too, Sunday.
about
The
Michael?
commercial fishing dock.
You could make it a town board.
We didn't, did we vote?
Did anyone
No.
second
We
that?
didn't vote yet.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Board Resolution
Was he picking up?
46276, resolution authorizing access easement agreement and indemnity as it relates to the dredging of North Sea Harbor.
Second.
All in favor?
I'd like to be added to that Sunday.
I'd like to be added as well, Sunday. This is such an important resolution. I can say working at the county level, we received many calls because county DPW are responsible for dredging, and we received so many calls about dredging this particular area. So very much in favor of this bill. Thank you for putting this on, Maria.
You can add me to the next,
Thank you,
next one
Kathleen.
too.
And thank you, Kathleen, for your
Yes,
work
another
behind
one
it.
where Kathleen's put a lot of time into this
Thanks,
over the years,
Kathleen.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, all of us, it's going to go to the North Sea Coastal,
Yeah, and I just
Coastal
want to
Erosion
add,
Protection District.
because people are going to be questioning why it is going on the North Sea side again and not on the Town Point side, which is what we had planned to do this time. But there are plovers on the North Sea beach side,
Can't be
I mean, on the
affected.
Town Point side.
At this
So we-
very moment.
Yeah, so we don't have the ability to do it, and anybody who knows that channel knows it has to be dredged, and we can't.
Thank you for pointing that
Yeah,
out
thank you
about the
for
plover.
explaining
And we
that.
have stockpiled sand at Town Point.
It's
Maybe
been, it's,
Right,
we've
I know,
been,
it's, I remember.
we've been doing the Druckenmiller property now for quite
Mm-hmm.
a few times, and we were going to do Town Point this time.
And so the plan is to alternate
It
each
is,
year.
but with the
This year,
plovers
because
there,
of the plovers,
we have
it's
to
going to
still
go
dredge.
to the west, okay.
Who was the second on that? Was there one?
I think I
Second.
was, oh, you were, Bill?
You're talking about
yourself building,
46276.
Yes.
That was Bill Bell.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And last but not least, Town Board Resolution ID number 46280, to authorize the supervisor to provide certain assurances and indemnify the County of Suffolk in furtherance of the dredging activities at North Sea Harbor.
Second. Also co-sponsor, Sunday.
Myself too.
This
Add
is
me as well, Sunday.
a necessary step.
Please.
Okay, all good.
Aye.
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 Supervisor.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you.
So we're all on that one, is that what we're seeing?
Yes,
And-
you are
Okay, and we all,
And we're all aye.
all right,
And we all
Okay.
Yes,
voted,
We all voted.
I think.
excellent. Well,
Okay.
thank you for a great
Riverside
meeting.
Sewer District.
I move to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, please don't go anywhere because.